Welcome to episode 1006. It's Thursday, January 22nd, and you're listening to the Geek at Geek News Central. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com, and listeners like you. Pick up a domain name for just $1.49 or get 30% off your next order at GoDaddy by visiting my GoDaddy page at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Start supporting this show today by becoming a GNC Insider at geeknewscentral.com/insider. Geek News Central is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Hey, folks, got a great show lined up for you. I tell you, lots to share, lots of tech news, lots of cool stuff. You know what comes next? Strap in. Here it comes.
All right, people, I need a go, no-go for the Geek News Central podcast. Digital archive recorders.
Or go fly.
Microphone.
Or go fly.
Video feed.
Go.
Web browser.
Go.
RSS data stream aggregator.
Go fly.
Interflux Toddism suppressor.
All right, I'm confused.
Host readiness check.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
The Geek News Central podcast is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go. Cue Todd in
5,
Button, who's got the button?
4,
There's no cause for alarm.
3,
Everybody hold on to something.
2,
Just press the button.
1.
Aloha and welcome to Geek News Central. Of course, my name is Todd Cochran. I want to welcome you all to the show. Of course, all of you longtime listeners, everyone that's part of the Ohana, thanks for being here and thanks for being part of the family. I got a great show lined up for you tonight, and lots to talk about, lots to share. As I said in my beginning, but you guys did a great job in accomplishing our mission. We'll talk about that as well, that I signed everyone to do on the last show. Got a little bit of a dilemma, but I think we got an action plan, but we'll talk about that. And I'm kind of talking in riddles, but if you weren't listening to the last show, you don't know 100% what I'm referring to, but we'll get into it. Hey, if you are brand new, thanks for being here, and we want you to take some time and get over to geeknewscentral.com. Get subscribed to the show. It's real easy to do so. There's links right there in the right-hand column of the website. We want you to get signed up for the newsletter as well. That way you'll get the show notes delivered directly to your inbox immediately following the show. And everything I have in those show notes is really everything I'm going to cover on the show tonight. So definitely, get hooked up and get connected so that you can stay abreast of what's going on with the podcast. You can email me anytime, geeknews@gmail.com. That's the primary way to reach out to me here on the show. Of course, if you want to reach out on Twitter, you can do so at Geek News as well. Either way, it's fine, of course, on all the social media folks. A lot of you are using Facebook these days. I'm getting a lot of instances of people sending me links and information via Facebook, which is cool. But those of you that are an insider, don't forget, if you haven't asked Sam to be part of the insider group on Google+, please get added. And, of course, you can email Sam at insider@geeknewscentral.com. Okay, lots of content going into the special media feed right now. So really pay attention to that. So if you're on a Roku, Google TV, Samsung Smart TV, load the Tech Podcast channel up. And really, you're going to be able to watch all those interviews we did at CES. They're going to be flowing in spurts, I guess, for better words. They just the team is writing like crazy. A bunch went up today, and they're on Geek News Central. They're over on TPN.TV. So definitely stay abreast of what's going on. Okay, tonight, really excited because it's going to be the Super Bowl time here shortly, and when that happens, there's always the cool GoDaddy ads. I don't know what they're going to do this year. I've asked for going to give them any hints or anything like that or any specials. So we'll keep you advised whether or not there's going to be any specials with our partner and our sponsor of the show here, GoDaddy. So they're going to be doing spots just like they have it really for a long time now. So look forward to all that and all the Super Bowl ads. I think people look forward to the ads more than they look forward to the Super Bowl these days. And of course, with all the bickering that's going on in the sports world over the last couple of days about the inflate gate, which is just, get over it. Play some football. I know if you're on one of the opposing teams, you don't necessarily think that way, but it's just pretty comical for me, and considering I don't watch very much sports. But anyway, long story short here, we want to make you aware we've got some great deals at GoDaddy, and the deals keep on basically getting better over time. And right now, of course, we got the 30% off deal that's been kicking for a while. I don't know how long they're going to keep that on. All you got to do is go to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy, and that 30% off code is the first offer. GNC30 is the promo code to use. Geek149, get a .com for $1.49, newer transfer. Of course, you can get a domain, website builder, and Microsoft Outlook email address for $1 a month for 12 months. And we've got some dollar off coupons, or $1 a month, dollar off coupons. $1 a month WordPress hosting, $1 a month economy hosting, all again with a free domain. Press 4 Geeks 12. We even got some 50% off codes as well. So that's if you kind of, if you're shopping around, don't know quite what to get, you can definitely use one of those 50% off codes. So really, there's a deal there for everyone at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. We want you to share that page, those links, those codes with friends, family members, people that you know. And, it's not too early to start thinking about Valentine's Day, fellas. So take my advice and put together a website for your lovely spouse or girlfriend to present to her on Valentine's Day, so that you can, you can be a hero. It can be a couple's website. You can, pick up a domain with your name and her name.com, or a variation thereof, or some theme of your relationship, and then put up a pictorial WordPress site where you have nothing but pictures of her and you, and maybe pictures from a first date or something like that. That's one thing that's kind of cool about WordPress is you can predate. Basically, you can change the date on the post so it looks like you've been keeping this journal the whole time. So it's kind of a cool thing to do. You can make it private so that only you and her can see. So definitely consider that as an option for Valentine's Day. And of course, use one of my promo codes when you do. geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. We'll keep you advised on the Super Bowl stuff as the frenzy towards Super Bowl Sunday continues to ramp up, and we'll have something to share with you real soon. Okay, let me go ahead here and switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about the mission that we were on. Now, Sean and Jen, as we talked about on the last show, had a hot water heater go out, and I made it the mission of the last show for all of you to go over and contribute to their GoFundMe page. Now, as near as Sam, and I think it's more money than what Sam has been able to collect so far, or not collect, but got emails for. Now, Sam said we had $115 in donations come in, which is great. I think there's more looking at the website, so I want to make sure we're fair to both of them. But what happened was we got to a certain point, and Sean and actually started getting emails from people saying, hey, I tried to contribute, and they had shut the site off, and they hadn't reached the $1,000 mark. Well, Sean emailed me and emailed all the funders and said that they had received some assistance from a third-party agency in the town or in the area that they live in, and that basically covered the rest of the cost on the hot water heater replacement. So they didn't want to just continue to take money because they could. And I thought that was very honorable of them, because he said, I got the outside assistance. I didn't want to take the extra cash. So, I'm great. Okay, good. Now, he didn't go into a lot of detail, but really what ended up happening was I got the email from Sam after they'd already shut down the donation link. So I'm going to make good. I don't care that they've shut down the donation link. I think it's important that, they're family in need, and irregardless if they've got their hot water heater fixed, maybe the extra money that I will put in will go towards maybe the electricity bill or something to that effect. So I'm going to basically ping Sam tomorrow to see if he got any more announcements from the listeners. And if he did, then I will go ahead and match funds. And then I already have Jen's PayPal address, so I'm just going to PayPal her the money tomorrow after Sam basically tallies things up and makes sure that we're square for the matching fund. So happy to do this. And even though they've met their goal, it doesn't, I told you guys I would match funds. I'm still going to do that. So just keep you advised that that's going to move forward. So anyway, it's been kind of a crazy I mean, a crazy week here. I kind of like got up this morning and I'm like, my God, it's Thursday already. It's been like 18, 19-hour days. It's been really insane and in a good way. Lots of partner meetings. Had one today that was, and if I really wish I could, and I had said a couple days on my Facebook pages, someday I'm going to write a book about the podcasting space and tell you guys all the behind the scenes stories and talks and discussion. But I got to have plenty of time between. When this, there's gonna have to. It's probably gonna be 10 years from now. But I want to really. There's been an incredible journey, and I'm not saying it's over. The journey's continuing. Don't get me wrong. But I was in a meeting today, and I was a little apprehensive. Didn't quite know. Talking with a client beforehand, had some heavy hitters coming in, and I left the meeting like, holy smoke! I mean, I feel like I've been like empowered. So I'm expecting we'll have some cool things to announce in the near future. But every year my team does a retreat. We basically lock ourselves in a hotel room, and this year again we're going to be in Chicago. I guess it's the weekend of. Let me look at the calendar here. It's not this. It's not the weekend of the 31st. It's the weekend of the 7th, I guess. I fly out Thursday night. So on the Thursday, February 5th, there will be no show. I'm going to be flying to Chicago. Then I get back Monday midday. So hopefully I'll be able to do a show Monday night on the 9th. And I'll play that by ear depending on how whacked I am time-wise. But we go lock ourselves in a hotel room for the weekend, make our plan for the year, and come up with our strategy, what we're going to do throughout 2015. So I'm really excited about that, and we're hiring. If you are in the Columbus, Ohio area, I've got 2 job openings. I'm looking for a programmer, okay, and I'm looking for someone that's going to be basically not necessarily completely entry level, but someone that can do some marketing work, some sales. We don't have necessarily an official title for them, but we've just moved into brand new office spaces in Columbus. It's going to be a beautiful workspace to work out of. So if you're in the Columbus area and you're looking for a job, then you have to be able to go into the office. This is not something where you're going to be a remote in. Send me your resume, email it to me here, and let me know if you're in that geographical area or willing to relocate. Okay, so if you're willing to relocate yourself to the area we're at, let me know, because we are going to hire 2 people here very, very quickly. So, anyways, some crazy, we're moving, and it's time to really kind of expand our wings here. So I'm looking forward to this year. Okay, so I've got something I got to mail, and it's several items in a box, and I'm like. I knew right where it was at. I thought it was right behind me in the black cabinet behind me. So this morning I moved some stuff out of the way, opened the cabinet up, and the box wasn't there. And I'm doing one of those like, where the heck is it? I asked my wife, where's that box? And she's like, you're asking me? I can't. Your room's a war zone. I can't even come in there. And literally, it almost is. It's just stuff everywhere. And so I'm asking my son, where do we put that thing? And I got a couple other cubby holes here to look in, but I'm like, this is not a small box. I'm like, where the heck did it go? So I have a mission. I have to tear some stuff apart tomorrow to try to find it. But I really kind of, it's kind of reflecting today, and I'm like, I got a lot of gear review here that we've done. I've just boxed it back up and stuck it in the corner, and it's just starting to pile up. And before I've tried to do giveaways where I just give away onesie twosies, I think I'm going to do an ultimate grab box. I'm going to take a box, one big box, and I'm going to put all this stuff. It's brand new stuff. I'm going to put all of it in, and we're going to have one smorgasbord of cool stuff. It's going to be like Christmas in January. I'm going to get it packed, and hopefully over the weekend I'll take some pictures of it. And then I will show you guys, and then we're going to do some sort of whopper giveaway, because there's probably going to be $1,000 or $2,000 worth of stuff in it. That's just stuff. It's perfectly fine, but I'll share it with you, and then you can decide what you. Anyway, we'll have some sort of a contest next show, and just get. I'm going to get this stuff out of here, and it's not junk. It's not junk. It's all brand new electronics that. How many gadgets does a guy need, right? So all the excess, and it's not. Again, I don't even want to make it sound like it's excess. It's good stuff that I just don't need, and I'm going to box it all up and we'll give it away to the audience. I'll ship it to you. Now, here's the shipping rules on this one. You got to be in the United States. I can't be shipping it to Canada or Germany or some crazy place like that. So this next contest will be for the continental U.S. only, lower 48, as I like to call it, mainland United States from being here in Hawaii. So we'll give that stuff away, and we'll have fun. It's going to be the ultimate grab box of gear. As a reminder, Podcast Award nominations are open. If you feel I'm worthy, go ahead and nominate me in the Podcast Awards Technology and category, and also, of course, in People's Choice. So we thank you for your nomination. If you'll do that, I would be greatly appreciative. And I'm still, yes, sheepishly telling you the show 1000 prizes haven't shipped yet. So, sorry. It's been kind of one of those couple of weeks. Getting back from Vegas, everything's been crazy. But anyway, let's get into the tech. I got a lot to go through tonight. Did you guys notice I got new spectacles? Got those back the day after I got back from Vegas. I can see a lot better. My wife had her glasses come in, and it didn't help. She went back, and the doc said, how come your glasses? So he had to get a higher prescription for her, so she's waiting for hers to come back. I'm like, honey, you really is, are you having that bad of a day? And it was kind of weird. Never seen glasses come back that weren't right, but that was the case. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and get into the full content of the show. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the Ohana. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for reaching into your wallets and helping Sean and Jen out. I do appreciate it. I really, really do. Harmfelt for all the contributions, and I got your names from Sam, and I do appreciate you taking a step out. Now, I did want to add one more thing. If you're part of our Ohana and you're facing some tough times, it's just email me. Let me know what's going on, and we'll see what we can do. I don't know if we can do something like every show, but we can try to help some folks out if you're in that situation. Got to be compelling to me and explain how, what, where, and why. This is this is for legitimate causes only, and I know that we've got some Ohana members here with big hearts, and I want to just thank all of you that did make a contribution, and I know a number of you tried to and couldn't because the funding page was shut down, but it's a big thought that counts. All right, so big news yesterday was Windows 10. Holy smacks. Microsoft Windows 10, free upgrades for the first year. And I'm kind of like, okay, what does that mean? So they're going to give us Windows 10, desktops, tablets, phones, you name it. When they release later in this year, we're going to get Windows 10 for free. And I think we're all going to upgrade, okay? Let's be straight up. But what's the trick? Why are they saying just for a year? Why not adopt the whole Apple model? Is that not the case? Or after a year, now, here's what I'm worried about. And if they do this, it'll be the biggest bait and switch ever. But I'm afraid what they're going to do is after like 10 months in, they're going to say, well, listen, we're going to put everyone on a subscription model. If you want continuous updates to Windows, you're going to have to pay us X number of dollars a month to get all your updates. That's what I'm afraid they're going to do. I think that would be the worst mistake ever. And I don't think they're that stupid, but could it happen? Maybe. I'd love to know what you guys think, because they tried to pin them down. What happens after the first year? And it's not a slam dunk, because in a footnote to a blog post they made, they said some editions excluded about the free upgrade deal. All right, what does that mean? So what form of free are we going to get? Now, if there's like 3 versions of Windows 10 and I want the Pro version, does that mean then I'm going to have to pay? Does that mean Windows 10 Basic is free? You get me on, and then you upsell me with a $49.95 upgrade to unlock features? Is that what's going to happen? I don't know. So is it going to be a cloud? I think so. And we've got some folks in chat room that's saying, yep, cloud subscriptions. Yep. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens here. And but that's my take on it. Now, at the same time, those of you that are have an Xbox, have an Xbox One, you guys largely know that Xbox One is running on Windows 8, largely, and they expect now over the next few months to Xbox One to be upgraded to the Windows 10 infrastructure, and it's going to be a seamless thing. You're going to have tablets, you're going to have the Xbox, you're going to have Windows Phone, and you're going to have your desktop is all going to look the same. They're very, don't get me wrong, they're not the first, they're the last, but I think what they will do, I think they're going to bring it together pretty seamlessly. I think they're going to do a good job of tying it together. Not that Apple, not that Google haven't, but I think they're going to do a good job. They have to. If they don't, they're going to get smoked, right? We all know that, right? And so it's pretty smart of them to do this upgrade, because what it does, people love free. Let's be square. People love free. So when you have a Windows 7 and a Windows 8, here I've got a Windows 7 machine here. I got a Windows 7 laptop on the floor. I got a Windows 8 laptop in the back. So what happens then if I want to upgrade? So let's push them all to Windows 10. That gets Microsoft adoption levels higher, quicker. Just like Apple does. It gets the adoption rate up. Now, those folks that are on the older operating systems, if they're still hanging out there with Windows XP, which there are people doing that, they may say, I can get the operating system free. Is it time for a hardware upgrade? They go into a big box, or they go online, and they figure out that these machines are much more inexpensive than what they were when they bought a machine for XP. They get a lot of bang for their buck. If the operating system's free, tablets, blah, 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 it's going to tie in. So once again, Microsoft is trying to, show their muscle and make it happen. So, we don't have an Xbox One here in the house with the Xbox 360, older PlayStation, and no plans on upgrading right now. Thought about maybe doing it around Christmas, but my lovely wife put the crosshairs up, said no. And of course, it was just for the kids because I don't play Xbox. Yes, dear. And I think once my son is graduated, then there might be a gaming thing upgraded, but she didn't want him to lose focus the last 4 or 5 months of school. He made honor roll this quarter. So it's, we're trying to make sure we get through the senior year, getting graduated, and then off to what he's going to do. So I'm, pretty happy with that. But, with a girlfriend and everything else, they lose sight real quick. But anyway, the Xbox One is not destined for this house as of yet. All right, let's switch gears here completely. And I want to talk just a little bit about healthcare.gov. And there's been a damning article about the health insurance exchange website operated by the United States government is sending out personal health information about its users to at least, now check this out, 14 and likely more third-party websites belonging to private advertising companies. Now, you're going to think it's a government website. How can it be? How can it be that they are sending data to to Akamai, to ClickTail, to DoubleClick, to Google, to MathTag, to Mixpanel, to Optimally, to Reason 8, to Twitter, to Yahoo, to YouTube. How can that be? How can that be that that website is sending data back to those companies? This is HIPAA stuff, right? You're signing up for health insurance. You're putting information in about you, your privacy information, your age, your health issues. But this EFF staff technologist, Cooper Quinton, independently evaluated these claims and came to the same conclusion that the information being sent includes the age, income level, zip code, parental status, pregnancy status, and whether they are a smoker or not. And while knowing associated with it, the computer's IP address can occasionally be included in the sent information, de facto allowing the companies to associate to you. DoubleClick could match up the personal data provided by healthcare.gov with already extensive trove of information about what you read online and your buying preferences. And now they know some of your health stuff. They know if you're pregnant. They know if you're smoking. How can the government be doing this with private enterprise? The administration says that the site's connections to data firms are aimed at improving customers' online experience and that these firms are prohibited from using the data for their own purposes. You know, let's be very, very frank. Health information is like the golden goose that gave the egg. They get some data on you. You guys know the story. You guys been around here for a while, right? I've told this many times. My 11-year-old son. You know, there's an age difference. My next oldest child is 6 years older, so there was a gap. My daughter's 18, my son's 17, and Chris is 11, and we had not been subscribed to any parenting magazines or nothing. We were out of the baby business. Well, when my wife bought a pregnancy kit and we figured out we were pregnant and went to the doctor and basically made the official thing, got out the prenates, all that, you know, about 6 or 7 days later, we got a parent magazine that said, "Congratulations, Cochran family." They knew we were pregnant. Someone sold our information. And we hadn't used a credit card at the store. We'd paid cash for the pregnancy test kit. But we do know that the medical facility we went to, which was a government agency, because I was in the Navy at the time, someone over, because I got the prescription prenatals at the military government hospital, someone over there sold that information. So you're telling me and trying to convince me that DoubleClick and these companies, YouTube, Yahoo, Twitter, RiffHub, Reason 8, Optimally.com, Nerd Data, Mixpanel, MathTag.com, Google.com, DoubleClick, ClickTail, Chartbeat, and Akamai are not using that information? Please, 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 tell me another lie. Why do a government site have to be calling home to mama with a private industry? Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Makes you go, And how many Americans are now going over and putting this information in healthcare.gov? Now let's think about this for a second. Let's think about who it's being targeted against. All right, so you got individuals that are out of work that need healthcare. You've got individuals that don't have healthcare provided by their employer. You have typically the folks that couldn't get insurance before, people with pre-existing conditions, all those things that the healthcare.gov website has brought into effect and allowed people to get healthcare, supposedly cheaper. And we're not here to talk about that whole political thing. who is that? That's the people that have had misfortune. They're in a job that their business owner doesn't provide. So it's not the folks that have a full-time job that have health care with their work, with the business that they're working at. And I don't want to say this is targeting less unfortunate, because that's not necessarily the case. But there's a lot of people that have not had health care that now do, and they're collecting this info. No matter what you think about healthcare.gov, whether or not you're Republican or Democrat, and I don't care what your political spectrum is on what you think about this site or the law, the simple fact that they're sending data back to Akamai, Chartbeat, ClickTail, DoubleClick, Google, MathTag, Mixpanel, Optizely, Reason 8, Art, RiffHub, Twitter, Yahoo, YouTube, should be incredibly, incredibly concerning. And you need to pick up the phone and call your congressman and ask why. They should not be doing that. Irregardless, there's none whatsoever excuse. No excuse. None. They're not running ads on the website. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. All right, I'm going to come off my little soapbox here, and we're going to get into something more cool. Cannot wait to get one of these, and I haven't ordered one yet, but I'm going to. You guys know I'm a sucker for set-top boxes. The Google Nexus Player Android TV streaming box is about to go retail. So it's on Newegg's website. Let's go over to Newegg and let's look. So what's it say for release date? 120. Oh man, 125.15. So you can pre-order right now, $99. I don't know if there's a wait time for this right now, but it is available. But this is Android TV. This is the new Google TV experience. So I'm excited. I'm actually sent an email off to my team today, and I'm like, what do we have to do to get our Google TV app to roll into the Android TV app? Let's make the transition. I don't know how much work's going to be done. I'm sure I'm going to make them upset. But you guys going to get Android TV? So what do we have now? I got a Roku. I've got a Fire TV. I've got what else? A couple other things. It's just off the hook, the amount of stuff. But this is a space I live in, and I'm just going to have to see what they're going to do here. I think this is going to be cool. Oh, yeah, got the Google TV in the living room. So the Android TV streaming box, about ready to go retail, $99.99 a gamepad for $40. So I won't get the gamepad. I'll just get the regular little box. But that's about ready to kick. So if you want one, get on Newegg and pick one up. All right. All right. Verizon is in the news again, and they're not happy. And we know that Verizon is urging the FCC to reject a call for an investigation into its statements that it has made on utility rules, net neutrality, and its fiber networks. We know that Verizon was accused of deceiving the FCC by telecom analyst Bruce Kushnick of New Network Institute and audit director Tom Albani of telecom customer advocacy group Teletruth. Verizon's used its status, this is from them, Verizon's used its status as a telephone utility to gain favorable government treatment of its fiber network, while telling the FCC that applying similar rules to internet service would deter private investment. So it's a clear case of something wanting their cake and to eat it too. So Verizon is not happy. They're trying to repurpose the message, and I'm sure they're probably going to be successful at it, because there's lots of stuff going on. It's not a slam dunk on this net neutrality stuff right now. There's all kinds of political actions in play. The Republicans are basically saying, nope, 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 nope. You're not going to do that. We're going to take that away from you. and there's actually talk of pushing the decision later the next week. So I think it's going to get ugly, and I don't think we're going to have resolution, because I think what's going to happen is, I think, and here's the play though. Let's say on this net neutrality bit that the House and the Senate get together, and they say, we're going to take ownership of this. With the president having come out and and I don't agree with a lot of the policies the president has put out, but when he comes out and he's drawn a line, well, let's not use that term. He's basically come out and been very strong in his opinion about the net neutrality stuff. So I think what will happen, this is where this is going to get bounced around a little bit. I think the Republicans, and I think the House and Senate are going to try to take control of the Title II decision and net neutrality. But I think they're going to put something together that probably the president won't like. The president will veto it. More than likely, they won't have the votes to overturn it, so it's going to die in the vine. And then ultimately, the FCC is going to be able to make their ruling anyway. So, but there's discussion now that the FCC may push until the congressional action gets done. I don't know if that's how it's going to play out, but that's the speculation. So meanwhile, Verizon and all these other companies continue to, shuck and jive and get their lobbyists in there and telling all these career politicians, which should all be gotten rid of, Republican and Democrat, that getting rid of by voting them out, that if you you don't do as we say, we're going to take your donations away, and and usually when that happens, then the puppy dog comes out and like, oh yes, Mister, I'll put some legislation in. They roll over. So we'll see what happens here, but it's going to be. I don't think we're going to have any decision next week. I'd be shocked, literally shocked, if they actually made a decision. And I don't know if it's going to go our way anyway, with the way they're talking. So time will tell on how this all plays out. But we'll see. All right, first Hubble, and now Dawn. Yes, the Dawn satellite it's outbound, have seen the white spot on Sirius. Now you're thinking, what's that? As you know, we have a satellite. Let me see if I can load the article here. Come on, paste and go. Oh, that was dumb. All right. What happens here is I have two monitors. And the monitor that is in front of me is the monitor that I try to review to talk about what's in the show, and the other monitor is what I put on the screen for those of you watching the video to see. But there's a big white spot on Sirius, and the Hubble Space Telescope first captured an image of this in 2003 and 2004, and a subsequent image taken by Hubble, the spot remains visible. Now, in images released yesterday from the Dawn spacecraft early on approach to Sirius, the spot remains in the animation image, and it almost seems to glint in the sunlight. And boy, it's got the scientists in a feeding frenzy here, because we're going to be out there in about 4 or 5 months, I think, is when the approach is, and they're going to be able to hang out and get something up close and personal on this. So as we head out that way, and this is of course, Sirius is one of the moons of. Okay, make sure I get this right. Is it Pluto or? I'm gonna look stupid here. I think I already am. It's either Uranus or Pluto, one of the two. And so we will see where this leads, but they're pretty excited. This is going to be it's going to be a big one. And let me read here if I can. I got so wrapped up in talking about this, I kind of lost sight of the main goal here. But anyway, link will be up in the show notes, and you guys can figure it out as much as I can. Hey, the most powerful Atlas V delivered a most spectacular nighttime launch for the United States Navy. This is one of the biggest launches or heaviest launches they did. This is a 200th mission of the Atlas Centauri rocket. This payload was 15,000 pounds, 7.5 tons, and spectacular launch in Florida. And this thing was, they basically had to have the biggest combination of motors and so forth. The Atlas V stage generated 2.5 million pounds of liftoff thrust, and it made it to orbit just fine. But some pretty spectacular photos of the launch site. I haven't seen no video yet, just some initial pics. All right. Okay. Radio RDIO expands the internet radio service to 24 additional markets in Central America, the Caribbean, Asia, and Pacific. Big announcement today here. So, of course, radio is a leading global music streaming service. They're the ones that had the dust up with Taylor Swift. And as part of expansion across the Caribbean, Central America, and Asia Pacific, radio is exclusively partnering with mobile phone network provider Digicel in each of the 24 new markets and an additional 7 regions to create a unique offering designed to customize streaming experience for Digicel customers in each country. So here's the full list. So effective today, radio is now available in the following markets: Antigua, Barbados, Aruba, Barbados, Bermuda, the British Virgin Islands, Cayman Islands, Dominica, Fiji, Grenada, Guyana, Haiti, Jamaica, Nauru, Papua New Guinea, Samoa, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Tonga, Trinidad and Tobago, Turks and Caicos, and Vanuatu. In addition, new markets where radio is launching radio exclusive partnership is in Guadalupe, Guatemala, El Salvador, Panama, Martinique, and Bonaire. So sue me if I pronounce some of those wrongs. I apologize, but again, that's where they're expanding into those countries. So definitely big Latin and push into the Caribbean for sure. Hey, if you haven't seen Transparent, well, Amazon will stream Transparent for free this coming Saturday. So this is big. All 10 episodes of Transparent's original series for free, starting at 12:01 Eastern through 11:59. So if you want to do a binge watching, available via Amazon Instant Video app for TV, streaming gadgets, and mobile devices, including Fire TV, Roku, Xbox, PlayStation, and more. And of course, the show won Best Musical or Comedy Series, and the lead, Jeffrey Tambor of Arrested Development fame, took home Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy. So be available. Transparent will be available for you to watch all Saturday, and all episodes will be available. Switching back to the tech side, Cox is saying we're not responsible for pirating customers. Of course, Cox Communications is one of the largest internet providers in the United States. Says it's not liable for pirating customers. The ISP is being sued by 2 music publishers for failing to disconnect copyright infringers. According to Cox, however, these claims don't hold. We've all known that Cox is one of the ISPs that forwards the DMCA notices to the customer. And it's at that 7-step rule. Remember, we talked about that. But according to some copyright holders, Cox efforts are falling short. Last month, BMG Rights Management, BRM, and Round Hill Music sued the ISP because it failed to terminate the accounts of repeat infringers. Of course, the companies which control the publishing rights to songs by Katy Perry, the Beatles, and David Bowie, among others, claim that Cox had given up his DMC safe harbor protection due to its inaction. And I think we're all going to have to pay attention to this one, because this case is a critical test for the repeat infringer clause of the DMCA and safe harbor protection ISPs enjoy. So today, Cox replied to the complaint, denying pretty much all allegations put forward by the music publishers. In addition, the ISPs briefly outlined various defenses it submits, basically plans to submit its reply. The company argues that the claims against the company are barred for a wider range of reasons. Cox had no knowledge of infringements, for example, and never had the intent to induce profit from or materially contribute to piracy, blah, 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 blah. But we'll see this if Cox is not going to lose their safe harbor provision. It's not going to happen. They're going to pay in some money, and then some customers are going to get shut off. They're not going to allow themselves to lose the safe harbor provision. It just won't happen. Now, I think we should think about what's going on in the space today, and I want you guys to think about the airways. There is, as consolidation happens, what then typically would happen is that companies can circle the wagons and lock out certain groups. So there's an article over on Bloomberg that talks about specific stations won't air a specific political party's ads attacking Comcast, Time Warner merger. So 9 days ago, a political PAC set out to run TV ads in swing state markets. They took the form of 2-minute ads against MSNBC host, ending with appeals to watchers and voters to call their affiliates to get them to oppose the proposed merger of Comcast, which owns NBC Universal and Time Warner Cable. 9 days later, no station would take the ads. So basically, NBC's refusal to air those folks' ads adds to the argument sparked by their concerns that if the government approves the Comcast merger, the company will control 80% of local political advertising. Censoring that group's ad should frighten all sides of the political spectrum. Who knows who a government-sanctioned Comcast would try to censor tomorrow. So the group's next step is likely to be an FCC complaint, elevating the argument and bringing a government's watchdog into it. Meanwhile, the political party's opponents are pounding away and appreciating the basically not running the ads. So here's what it really is, going to boil down to, folks, is that if we have a situation where let's say MSNBC, or let's say Fox refuses to run a liberal group's ads and MSNBC refuses to run a conservative group's ads, then we're in a situation where no one can get a message out to either party, to the opposite party. And it's not a good thing. It's interesting that NBC refused to air those ads from those specific stations, which and I don't know if the argument's completely right because it was NBC's decision, not Cox's decision, but it does make you wonder. Of course, the NBC refusal was largely because it was going to be going after, the ads were going to be going after, their network. So they're trying to protect themselves, obviously, there. But I don't know. I don't know what the rules are on, you want to buy airtime. I guess, obviously, they can still say no. But it does make you go, just a little bit. What do you guys think about that? Should, should a network be able to say no to a political action committee's ads? Should they say, we don't want your money? Should they be able to do that in the public airways? I'd love to hear you guys' thought on this one, because it's definitely, you've got businesses that can decide what they want to do on one hand. At the other hand, they're a public entity. What do you guys think? It's it's the same type of situation where you walk into a business and they won't serve you because of either your race, color, creed, so forth. It is, that's discrimination. Is it the same thing in TVs? I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on that. geeknews@gmail.com. All right, Teenage Engineering designed a set of incredible pocket synthesizers. Now, it's not a teenager. It's a company called Teenage Engineering. And they usually put out stuff that's really expensive, in the $800,000-$900,000 range, and it's all pro stuff, and it's and for those of you that don't know what a synthesizer is, and I can't say it to save my life here, it's basically beat tracks where you can make different beats, different sounds. But Teenage Engineering designed a set of incredible pocket synthesizers that cost $59 each. The Swedish designers really went off the chart, and I was actually listening to some of the beats, and I wonder if I can play them. I don't think I can legally play them on the show, but a subwoofer, a rhythm section, and whatever factory is, but different types of beats and sounds, and you mix them up, and it's on a little breadboard. Pretty classic here. So, for those of you into music, into being able to make up mixes and stuff, I don't know how you get it off the board, but it looks pretty slick. It really does. So, a link will be up in the show notes, of course, tonight. Netflix is worried about the app Popcorn Time, and those of you that have been listening to the show for a while, or those of you that are probably over in Europe, probably know Popcorn Time more than those in the United States do. But Popcorn Time is an app. It's a piece of software that aims to make watching pirated movies as easy as it is to stream something from Netflix, and it basically uses peer-to-peer to be able to share and stream the content. It's pretty effective. And also the software temporarily downloads the movie to a user's computer, and then you help push it out as well to other people watching it. But Netflix is worried that this group could negatively affect the streaming space. And it's real big in the Netherlands and so forth, but there are about 1.4 million people in the United States with 100,000 active users basically using Popcorn Time here. So it goes to show you that pirating a movie, of course, the movies that are on that are much wider than what's available on like Netflix. But Netflix is actually complaining about competing against these folks. So it's interesting that Netflix has joined the big boys club and crying about piracy. Now, some of you, let me look at this. Some of you may be familiar with the old cartridge systems back in the day. Now, many of you probably already know that the gaming boxes used cartridges for years. But did you know that when it started, cartridges were really a ways to a means, and in order to use a single architecture to be able to run multiple games, because there really wasn't enough onboard memory and so forth. Well, the folks at Fast Company have basically come up and provided us the untold story of the invention of the game cartridge, and how a forgotten company in the 1970s launched a billion-dollar business and helped spawn a new creative medium. And this is a great story. This is you need about 20-25 minutes to read through this. But Fairchild's Channel F was the first game console with cartridges, $169 with each cartridge costing $20, and this was $1970. This wasn't $2014. It's $1970. So considerably more expensive back in the day, considering people were not making that much money on an hourly basis. So Channel F is the name of the device. It's pretty cool history, and of course we all know that they did not end up winning that race. They got beat by another company that I think we all are very familiar with, called Atari. So anyway, but I have this up for you, those of you that want to do a little history lesson today. Hey, Microsoft is turning Skype into its own version of iMessage in Windows 10, and if you look at this, and I'm looking at the messaging software, it looks a little bit like iMessage. So Skype is definitely getting an overhaul on Windows 10, but everything remains flat. Flat in all the software designs these days, for sure. Here's one that I want you guys to think about a little bit. How many of you bought a new car recently? Any of you bought a Mustang? Any of you bought a muscle car? A car with high performance, maybe? A Dodge Challenger? Any of you folks got yourself a little bit of a muscle car that's new? Not old? Well, in the 2015 Ford Mustang, apparently, the engineers had to make it sound more, for better words, throaty. Vroom, 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 vroom. They needed to sound more like a muscle car. And they did a bunch of sound boosting tricks. Now, the engines themselves are very efficient, very high power, and very quiet. So they had to induce some throatiness to the Mustang. And basically, the guy sits in the car, he's got the door open, and vroom, vroom, they step on the gas. It's all part of that experience, right? They did some baffling and stuff with the exhaust to make it sound good, but they also did an active noise control system that amplified. Now, listen to this. That amplifies the engine's purr through the car speakers. Can you believe that? The AURAL, the AURAL, the AURAL experience of a car is intangible, that's just as priceless as what's revving under the hood. So for a car guy, hearing that noise is really music to one's ears, right? You want to hear that rumble. But this mind trick they're playing is interesting. I will going to be honest with you. The next time I go to Ford, I'm going to be asking a lot of questions about this particular topic. That they're making the vehicles, they're engineering the vehicles to sound louder and get that rumble, and maybe even doing active noise control through the car's speakers. I think that, I can understand making the car sound louder through the exhaust system, but please, through the car speakers, I think that's taking it a little bit over the top. I really do think it is. All right, on the legal front, the Silk Road trial continues, and I'm going to be honest with you. This dude, this Ross Ulbricht, is going to jail for a long time. The evidence presented is pretty bad. This guy he didn't delete anything. More than 1,000 pages of chats between him and the Silk Road administrators, a journal that dated back to 2010 describing the creation operation of the site. They had one of his basically associates in today testifying against him. This guy is so done. He is so done. It's not even funny. The question is, how many years is he going to get? I think he's going to get a lot of time in jail over this. I can't see him walking away from the jury trial. I just don't. But I was reading through some of the testimony today, and holy smokes, this guy really pushed the limits. I understand why the FBI was after him in a big way. Did you see The Late Show with Jimmy Fallon, how Bill Gates got him to drink sewer sludge? Well, as part of publicizing his support of the Omni processor, which takes sewer sludge and turns it into clean water and energy, Bill Gates offered the comedian the ultimate taste test and brought 2 glasses of water. Of course, Jimmy Fallon drank one, Bill Gates drank the other, and it turns out both of them were processed. The Omnipressor is a device that turns sewer sludge into energy and drinkable water. And I wonder if they get a picture of this thing. This is pretty impressive if you think about it. There's a Gates Notes video. Oh, here, I can't play this. Oh, I'm looking at this thing on. It looks like a power, one of those industrial plants that processes oil or something. It's what it looks like, but it's not. It's pretty gross. In comes the sludge, out comes clean water. It's pretty interesting. And then the remaining is I'll have the link up to the video, and when you see it, you'll get it. But they take sewer sludge and make water out of it. Wow. Anyway, it's a 2-minute video. I think you'll all be amazed. They can put these in Africa, and I use it to process, try to get drinking water. So, interesting move. All right, over on The Verge, the YouTube competitor Vessel is now available for $2.99 a month. I don't fully understand this play here. Vessel, the subscription streaming service created by Hulu's ex-CEO, is now available to the public. Around a year ago, Jason Keller and Rich Tom abandoned their position at Hulu's CEO and CTO and began building Vessel with the goal of harnessing the financial power of viral video stars. For $2.99 a month, Vessel users can watch advanced episodes of web shows from stars like fashion blogger Ingrid Nielsen, parody comic Shane Dawson. Videos posted at Vessel won't be available anywhere else for 72 hours, a time slot the creator can extend if they want to. So I don't know if I know of any YouTube artists that are that compelling that I would want to pay $2.99 a month to get access to the videos 72 hours early. This is a strange model to me, but if you are a YouTube fan of some of these stars and you're a big follower, $2.99 will get you early access to a number of these YouTube sensations. The upcoming NASA experiment where NASA astronaut Scott Kelly, Expedition 26 commander, hang on here. Hold on. There's two identical twins that have went into space. And what they're going to do is they're going to send, if the 50-year-old twins who share nearly identical DNA will end up with detectable genetic differences after one spends a year in a highly radioactive and weightless environment of space. So one of the twins is going to go to space, the other staying here, and what's going to happen is they're going to do extensive study of the blood work and so forth when the astronaut gets back, and of course the other twin is also a NASA employee, so they're going to be able to do all the sequencing they need to do. So it's going to be kind of an interesting move here. So doctors will be sequencing genes of both Kelly brothers, then looking for different markers. They are going to be doing on board the space station. They're going to be doing blood sampling. So this is kind of a cool experiment. Two genetically identical twins. One's going to spend time in space and the other isn't, and they're going to look at the deltas. I thought they'd both been in space already. So NASA astronaut Scott Kelly left Expedition 26 commander to replace his twin brother Mark Kelly on March 17th after 159 days in space. So maybe the one is and one isn't. Maybe that's the case. Maybe the one has never went into space, but they're definitely going to... So they definitely have a baseline before one leaves. So it'd be kind of cool to see what those results are at some point. You guys are following me on that. Google reportedly wants to sell wireless services and maybe becoming a reseller through Sprint and T-Mobile. So Google may be your next mobile carrier or, opportunity to get service through Google. So we'll see what happens with that. What else here? Bada bing, bada boom. Twitter encourages popular users to stop posting photos with Instagram. So, of course, we know that users of Twitter's official app haven't been able to actually see Instagram photos since 2012. Of course, we know that's when Instagram decided to abruptly remove support for cards that showed photos right in the Twitter timeline. So apparently what's going on here is Twitter is basically pushing by little pop-up messages to popular Twitter users, showing them how to share their photos in the Twitter app. I don't think I've shared very many photos in the Twitter app. I really didn't realize I could do it, but you can. So that seems to be a goal right now for Twitter, to start converting some of those people off some of those other services. On the New York Times, there's an article about the sorry state of in-flight Wi-Fi. I flew from, I told you guys last year when I flew from Chicago to Hawaii, I had a huge amount of work to do, and I paid for the in-flight internet and got an incredible amount of work done. It was really, really productive. The Wi-Fi was good, but people are complaining now that the Wi-Fi the internet is not as good. It's not working out as well. Speeds aren't what they used to be. So, are you guys experimenting that? Are you guys using the onboard internet at all? I know on my flight back from Chicago, I will definitely be using it as well to get some work done on the way back on this next trip. But I won't on the way out of Hawaii because it's a basically a red eye, and I'm definitely going to sleep. But it is an interesting write-up that speeds are down inside the airplanes. So be aware of that. If you live in Illinois, students may have to forfeit their Facebook passwords if they are suspected of being a cyberbully. A law that went into effect in 2015 will allow Illinois school districts to demand the social media passwords for students that break the rules or are suspected of cyberbullying. And parents have received a notice telling what the policy is. Parents would be notified before school asks student for a password. Refusal to cooperate could, and they say could, even lead to criminal charges being pressed. That's also the concern about how laws being implemented could be unconstitutional. I think I would take that one to the Supreme Court. The Pentagon has scolded the Air Force for wasting nearly $9 billion on drones. Apparently, the Air Force couldn't help themselves and bought more MQ-1 Predators or MQ-9 Reapers, basically more than they needed. I guess there was drones for everybody over there at the Air Force. Apparently, the Air Force claimed that it was only buying 346 drones instead of 401 that the Inspector General says it's buying. But 346 drones? How many fighter aircraft do they have? Oh, it's an incredible number. Hey, Kim.com launches Skype competitor MegaChat. So we know Kim.com is always a disruptor, but he's released his latest product, currently in beta. It's a browser-based encrypted video calling and file sharing platform that's being positioned as a Skype competitor. MegaChat is being rolled out feature by feature today, and there's still a few kinks left to work out, according to Kim.com. And there were some tests done. Some folks had good video, some didn't. But they claim that it's supposed to be using controlled encryption, UCE, which means it provides you with your decryption key, which you can send to people to allow them to access files. And one of the draws of MegaChat is that you don't have to install software to use it, but Chrome and Firefox extension is available, which is supposedly to boost performance and security. So MegaChat is targeted at people who are wary of Skype security, and its browser-based model is also a swipe at Microsoft plans to integrate Skype into Internet Explorer. So it's called, again, MegaChat. It's available, and you can just Google it or look at the show notes tonight. Microsoft has announced Office 2016 coming in the second half of 2015. A little bit of an earnings report coming out of Apple. Apple paid $10 billion to developers in calendar 2014. $500 million spent on iOS apps the first week of January 2015. Billing for apps increased 50% in 2014. Cumulative developer revenues were $25 billion, making 2014 revenues 40% of all app sales since the store opened. 627,000 jobs were created. 1.4 million iOS apps cataloged in 155 countries. So that machine continues to rock and roll. All right, we already talked about that. If you're a Firefox user, Google is now suggesting Firefox users change the search engine and homepage. It's been kind of interesting doing searches in Firefox recently because I've been getting the Yahoo search results, and a little annoying in some instances, so I haven't switched it yet, but Google's now actively telling people, hey, here's how to switch it so that you can have the Google search engine being default. If you're a Spotify user, Spotify unveils Touch Preview, a beautiful new music discovery tool. Spotify has been pretty busy, and they hit 10 million paid subscribers. So, but they've got a new app out, a new update, so everyone's pretty happy. It looks like it's nice. So make sure you get your apps updated. Apple's apparently having problems with their smartwatch battery still. It's not living up to life expectations. They're trying to get 19 hours of mixed use out of it, but they're not quite there yet. So we got that, nice color screen, heavy processor. It's going to use a lot of juice. Even my Windows Band, it uses quite a bit of power. And some days it lasts longer than others. I usually go about 2 days without a charge on that. Hey, if you're going to steal something, don't snap selfies with your stolen iPad. More than likely, you're going to get caught. A bunch of idiots. So if you've got iCloud backup enabled, and someone takes a picture with your device, it's going to go up to the cloud and going to figure out who did it. So, wow. They'd stolen an iPad and $5,000 in cash, a laptop, and other items that they found in this. Why do you keep $5,000 in cash in your car? Why would you do that? Who would be a knucklehead? Why would you ever keep $5,000 in cash? Is it hide it from your wife or something? I don't get that. I really, really don't. All right, Samsung is working on early stroke detection wearable. It's basically something that doctors can put on their head and basically get a quick reading. It's a test. It's a test environment. It's faster than what's being used in hospital. It's called EDSAP. So very, very cool. This connected app space is going to continue to expand. Those of you that are interested in some of the ROMs that are being made for the Atari age, you know that folks are building ROMs, Pac-Man ROMs and so forth. But there's some stuff coming available. Pac-Man is coming available here shortly. If you're interested, anyway, I have a link up in the show notes on that. And Google, of course, on their net neutrality battle, Google has spent a record amount on Washington lobbyists. The search and advertising agent spent $16.8 million in 2014, the most it's ever shelled out on DC influencers. So I don't know how that compares. So, let me read here. AT&T, Comcast, Sprint, Time Warner Cable, and Verizon spent a combined $53.4 million. So that was 5 companies, about $10 million each. So compared to Google, 16.8, they spent a lot of money. And again, policy making is basically buying your senator. All right, they've dug tunnels. They've used airplanes. They've used fast jet boats. You name it. They've used all kinds of means to try to get drugs into the United States. Well, a drone carrying 3 kilos of meth crashed near the U.S.-Mexico border. It didn't get over the border, but Tijuana shoppers experienced a close encounter with a drug delivery when the drone crash landed in a store parking lot. I have to give it to them for innovation, delivering drugs via drone. Interesting move. They're going to have to set up, guys on the other side of the fence with shotguns to blast drones, I guess. The next thing will be little itty bitty mini surface air missiles to knock down drones. Hey, the folks over at Leatherman have come up with something really, really, really cool, and it's a bracelet. Now, you're saying Leatherman put a bracelet together? Yeah, but check this out. 25 tools on your wrist. So you break this down. It's just about got everything. You can use it a watch band, or you can use it as basically an emergency tool set. You would be able to break out if you need to in an emergency. You just carry it around with you instead of having it in your pocket. It's on your wrist. Pretty smart, eh? I think so too. All right, so let me go ahead and we're here at the end of the show, and let me get into the email. Let's see what we've got today. I don't know why I shut this down earlier. And we'll let it open up here. There's been some people in the chat room tonight. Thanks for coming in and hanging out. All right. Let's see here. Today is the 22nd. The last show was on the 19th. So let's see here. I do want to talk about something that happened in Vegas. I got invited to, in previous years, there's been this event called Tweet House. And it's been pretty a cool event. A couple of years they had a suite. They set it up, had some incredible high-speed internet. You could go and get some food, have a few cocktails. They had a company there that was sponsoring it. You could walk in and look at their stuff. It was nice. I got invited to a Tweet House event at CES that I agreed to go to, and they were kind of vague on the where it was going to be. So the first or second night of the show, we were at some event, and then they basically, I got a text or a late email saying, hey, the Tweet House is going to be at such and such ballroom. And I kind of thought that was kind of weird because it was going to be in a a room, not in like a ballroom for a convention center versus being in like a hotel room. So I said, kind of whatever. And when I got to the room, they were changing out a sign, Chevy press briefing at 7:15 to Tweet House at 7:15. And I was like, what's this? So I stood in line, went inside, and the place was already packed. It was wall to wall with Chevy executives. And I'm like, where's the Tweet House? And there was like, maybe 20 of us that knew each other. We're kind of giving each other the eye, and I'm like, did you know this was going to be a Chevy briefing? And we all kind of like did the shrug. And so, number one, I'm mad because I've been invited to an event that I thought was going to be like this fun thing to do and hang out with people that I know and geeks and so forth. Instead, I'm at a Chevy press event. So and there was no place to sit down, and we're all being looked at weird because we're coming in press garb, and everyone else is dressed nice, and we're kind of like the black sheep walking into this fancy press event. And I see people got cameras set up in the whole 9 yards, and so I go and sit down, and there's a gal from the New York Times that's interviewing a Chevy exec. And I'm kind of overhearing, we're going to announce this, we're going to do this is really exciting, and blah, 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 and we got some great entertainment. And he got done doing it. I said to her, is this a press event? Is they having some announcement tonight? And she looks at me, she said, yeah, you didn't know? I said, no, I got invited here on the pretense that this was going to meet up for, geeks and folks that we've met up before in years past. Long story short, they showed us the Chevy Volt for about 30 seconds. Literally opened the curtain. I took one picture with my iPhone. It didn't come out good, so I erased it, and I put the iPhone up again to take another picture, and they closed the curtain. It was the worst reveal ever, and I tweeted about it on my, and I was pissed. I was really, really pissed, and I found a Chevy exec, and I told him exactly what I thought about the situation. He kind of overheard me talking and sought me out. I was not happy. So, long story short, I get an email today announcing another Tweet House. And there's a Sun Valley Dent Conference. And I don't know who's going to this, but they're saying nothing here about who is sponsoring this. And I looked at my emails, and there was nothing in there about being pitched. We're reaching out to our previous Tweet House guests to let them know that since we just wrapped up our Tweet House party at CES, which means Chevy briefing, and are in heavy prep mode for the Sun Valley Dent Conference, we aren't making it to Park City this year. The good news is that many of our pals are hosting some very cool gatherings, and we'd be remiss to not let you know about these events. So I'm just, I'm really not happy with this group. And it's a matter of trust. You just don't do that. And I'll never go to another one of their events again. I never will. I got an email here from Jeff. And I had stuck that in my GNC show notes or GNC email folder because I wanted to talk about it. I had it in the past. But anyway, I'm not a big fan of Chevy right now anyway. So it really irked me quite a bit. All right, best iPhone music apps. Boomio lets you legally share music. I got a link to this from Jeff. Appreciate that. And of course, Bree, I explained at the beginning of the show what was going on about the water heater and where they ended up with the donations and so forth. But thanks for your consideration, everyone else that sent me an email or text as well. All right, we're going to wrap the show up at this point. I want to thank you all for being here. geeknews@gmail.com is the place to send me an email if you have a comment about tonight's show. geeknews@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter @geeknews, or of course you just search for Todd Cochran on Google Plus or Facebook. I'm there. Add me as a friend. I'll add you back. And we want to thank you for hanging out with today's show and being here with me for the full time. And again, I look forward someday to be able to write one heck of a cool book that tells you all this behind the scenes stuff that I've been exposed to over the years. But I think it's going to be a while, but it's something that maybe it can be done at some point down the road. All right, that's it. We're going to wrap things up again. Todd Cochran here at Geek News Central. Thanks for being here. We'll see you back on Saturday for the New Media Show. We're going to have Rick Calvert on from the New Media Expo. We're going to be talking about the podcast awards and all the big announcements. Dennis Miller is going to be our host of our podcast awards ceremony, along with another gal. So it's really going to be a great event at NAB/New Media Expo in Vegas in April. And I'm glad I'm not running the podcast awards this year. Thank you for nominating me if you want to. Until next week, we'll see you. Everyone take care. Aloha. All right, those of you on YouTube, we'll see you later. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye, YouTube.